Well, the first returns are coming in on the WNBA All-Star voting. Of course, it will be in Indianapolis. And as you can imagine, Caitlin Clark is leading the All-Star vote. By the way, it looks like a massive turnout.
Angel Reese was once promoted as one of the rising faces of the WNBA, but fans don't seem fully convinced just yet. Despite the hype, she didn't make the top 10 in All-Star voting. Her shooting struggles may be part of the reason she's hitting just 30.9% from the field, one of the lowest among eligible players. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues to dominate the spotlight, racking up over 515,000 fan votes and leaving Reese far behind in the standings.
Honest. Second straight year that Clark has led the fan voting. She was second in early returns in fan voting in 2024, but jumped to first with around 700,000 total votes by the end of the period. So I'm wondering, are we going to see 1 million votes this time? Because I saw somebody earlier that said so far voting is actually way up versus exactly where we was at this time last year.
Why does it feel like fans are tuning in with their remotes rather than following the media narrative? Did you see Angel Reese's ranking coming before the official vote totals were released? Drop a comment and let us know. Lately, from national commercials to trending posts online, it's clear the WNBA has placed her front and center in its branding efforts.
The greatest myth in the WNBA dump has officially been exposed. The myth of all myths, the deception of deception. For the better part of 2 years, maybe even 3 years, the mainstream media has been trying to convince us that Angel Reese is a huge star.
Media didn't just report on Angel Reese, elevated her. Major outlets like Forbes ran headlines naming her, along with Aja Wilson, as key figures driving the WNBA's growth. In doing so, they often left Caitlin Clark out of the spotlight, as Clark was putting up huge numbers night after night. The message was loud and clear. Reese was being positioned as the future face of the league. She landed major endorsement deals, appeared in national ad campaigns. And her story was everywhere from sports segments to mainstream news outlets.
Some in the media even do investigative journalism and claim that Angel Reese is the face of the WNBA because she leads the league in followers on social media, along with missed layups and a complete lack of athleticism. Of course, the vast majority of her followers are bots and lonely men, most of which are not buying tickets or watching her games on television because they can't afford the 5 pesos a month to watch the Chicago Bravado on WNBA League Pass.
Living with her early struggles, the WNBA's official accounts continued to spotlight Angel Reese, often sharing her college highlights and featuring her front and center in media interviews that painted her as the league's next breakout star. Everything seemed set for a superstar launch. And it wasn't just the league or major brands pushing the narrative. Angel Reese embraced it too. In interviews, she confidently stated that she's the reason fans are tuning in, and that her legacy in the game will be long-lasting.
People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold-out arenas. I know I'll go down in history. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too.
Reese's bold personality and unfiltered confidence made headlines, and the media ran with it. She wasn't just promoted as an athlete, but as a symbol of a new era in women's basketball. She was everywhere at talk shows, highlight reels, commercials, present as more than a player, a force, a brand. But when the All-Star vote tallies dropped, the numbers told a very different story. Despite the constant coverage and heavy promotion, Reese didn't crack the top 10. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark led the pack with a staggering paying attention, but they're not just following media hype. They're making their own calls, and sometimes those choices don't match the narrative being pushed.
And there's a supposed, people keep telling me, supposed second most popular player in the league that doesn't look like the second most popular player at all. And in fact, a rookie I have been touting that is playing better than Angel Reese, Kiki Arifin. Well, basketball fans are showing up, and they have got her voted ahead of Angel right now. Angel is not in the top 10.
Why didn't all the media attention for Angel Reese turn into fan support? For every glowing headline about Reese, Caitlin Clark was out on the court delivering performances that simply couldn't be ignored. Clark let her game speak for itself, while Reese's spotlight seemed more rooted in her image and the narrative built around her. There's no doubt the hype around Reese was real, but the emotional connection with fans didn't seem to match the media's expectations. Take that Forbes article, for example. It put Reese at the center of the WNBA's growth story while barely acknowledging Clark's massive impact. That kind of selective storytelling highlights just how curated the narrative can be. But fans, they're watching the games. And when it comes to voting, they're choosing the players who are actually delivering on the court.
According to Forbes, Caitlin Clark is not responsible for elevating this turd into the mainstream. The ladies responsible for elevating the WNBA are Angel Reese and the unknown face of the Las Vegas Anonymous Faces.
This gap between media narratives and fan voting isn't just about basketball, it's about trust. When fans sense that a story is being manufactured or overly pushed, they notice. They want to see players earn their spotlight through performance, not just be elevated by a marketing campaign. The All-Star voting results reflect that. Despite all the branding, interviews, and media attention, Angel Reese didn't break into the top 10. It's a reminder that fans value what happens on the court more than what's promoted off.
To tell you where Angel Reese's place is, well, it's 13th place. And I can tell you right now, Jonquel Jones ought to be ahead of her.
So what's really happening here? Is it just a case of hype not matching performance here? Is there something in Angel Reese's game that isn't resonating with fans? There's no question she's landed major endorsements and media attention. But when you shift the focus to her on-court performance, the stats tell a different story, and that's where things get interesting. Let's break down the numbers from her rookie season to better understand her all-star chances. A lot of talk has centered around Reese's rebounding, which is certainly a strong point. But when we zoom out and look at the full picture, some concerns start to show, particularly when it comes to scoring efficiency. Through her first 7 games, Reese is shooting just 30.9% from the field ranking, second lowest among 64 qualified WNBA players. For a post player, that's not just below expectations, it's a serious issue. Post players typically take high percentage shots close to the basket. When more than 2/3 of those attempts aren't falling, it becomes much harder to justify an all-star selection based on performance alone.
Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion.
According to one analyst, Angel Reese's 4-for-11 performance against the Indiana Fever, a game where Caitlin Clark wasn't even on the floor, raised serious concerns. It wasn't the kind of showing that builds excitement or earns credibility around the league. For players aiming for all-star recognition, consistency, and impact in key matchups mattered in that game. The performance simply didn't meet expectations.
There is obviously no way Angel can compare to Caitlin Clark as a shooter or a passer. And there is no way Angel can live up to her dynamic social media / podcast presence as a shooter or a passer or even a shot blocker. She's blocked only 2 shots so far this season. She doesn't even do that.
Now, you might be thinking, but she leads the league in rebounds. And that's absolutely true. Angel Reese's hustle, effort, and ability to crash the boards are undeniable. She has a real talent for battling through traffic and pulling down missed shot stat. Part of her game is rock solid. But even with strong rebounding numbers, her offensive struggles are hard to overlook. In today's WNBA, teams are looking for well-rounded players. Scoring and efficiency matter more.
She has energy, she has an attitude, she'll rebound you the basketball. Great. Nothing else. She has nothing. She's got self-awareness. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player.
Put things in perspective by comparing Angel Reese with a couple of other top-performing forwards. Take Aaliyah Boston. For example, she earned around 447,000 All-Star votes. Boston doesn't just rebound scores efficiently and defends at a high level. making a strong impact on both ends of the floor. Then there's Kiki Irifan, who's averaging a double-double and pulled in roughly 213,500 votes. Her game is balanced and consistent, and fans are clearly noticing what these players have in common is a well-rounded presence. They don't just stand out and one Arethi, fill up the entire box score. And that's the difference. It's not about highlights, about all-around contribution.
Not only is the self-proclaimed Barbie not in the lead, Angel Reese isn't even close to making the top 10.
When you highlight Angel Reese's strengths, it's hard to ignore the areas where she still needs to grow. Analysts have praised her timing, effort, and determination to outwork opponents around the rim. Her rebounding instincts are elite. But at the same time, they're quick to point out that rebounding alone isn't enough to carry a teamer, justify all-star recognition. Today's WNBA is packed with players who contribute in multiple ways: scoring, defending, passing, and more. That versatility is what fans respond to. Reese's current stats reflect a player who's still working to find that all-around rhythm. Until she does, her overall impact on the court will likely remain limited.
7, 8, 9 on the list are Kelsey Mitchell, Sabrina Ionescu, and Lexington Hull. The following three are Kiki Arayafin, Kelsey the Plumber, and Satu Sabali? You mean to tell me these unknowns are ranked ahead of the face of the league?
Numbers don't. Angel Reese is a powerhouse on the boards, but her ongoing struggles with scoring and efficiency make it hard to place her among the league's elite, and that raises an important question. If rebounding alone isn't enough, what does drive all-star votes in today's WNBA? We break down the fan verdict next up.
Lexi Hall, 217,000, and there is Kiki Arifin, 213,500. She's averaging a double-double, a legit double-double, with a good field goal percentage. Angel Reese, well, wait a minute. I thought it was about you too. Everybody's watching because of me too, except everybody's not watching because of you too. I mean, guys, if the ratings ain't enough and the attendance ain't enough and what happened at LSU ain't enough and all this other stuff ain't enough to tell you where Angel Reese's place is, well, it's 13th place.
Here's how the WNBA All-Star voting system actually works. Fan votes make up 50% of the total, while players and media each contribute 25%. That means fans have the biggest influence on who gets selected. And even with that advantage, Angel Reese didn't crack the top 10. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark dominated the vote polling in a massive 516,000 votes. That's more than triple Reese's, 173,000. We're not just talking about a gapeware, talking about a canyon. A clear disconnect between what the media tried to promote and what fans actually supported.
So even right down here, the Mirror's calling out Angel Reese. As for Reese, one-time All-Star from last year in a rookie season alongside Clark, who appears set to earn a second honor, has struggled in 2025. 23-year-old, notorious for her rebounding supremacy, averages 11 points, but the Sky are 3 and 8. And she's shooting like, I don't even know what she's at now. It's probably less than 35%.
All-Star. Voting process is designed to balance fan popularity, respect from fellow players, and media attention. But this year, it exposed a major disconnect. Despite months of heavy promotion from the league and major media outlets painting Angel Reese as the next big star, fans didn't fully buy in. They looked past the headlines and focused on what really matters: performance. Caitlin Clark let her game do the talking. Night after night, she's putting up big numbers, delivering highlight plays, and making a real impact on the outcome of games. Fans noticed and they showed their support in a big way. On the court is what truly earns respect and votes.
Let's see, fan voting runs through the 28th. Culmination of fan voting 50%, player votes 25%, and media votes. Oh, that's going to be where Angel Reese makes her move. Media votes 25% will determine the All-Star starters. Looking right at you, CBS, you still ain't released the ratings.
Boston earned 47-0 votes, proof that fans are paying attention and rewarding players who consistently deliver across the board. Her all-around game, steady performance, and leadership have built her a strong, loyal fan base. Another top vote-getter, Nneka Ogwumike, has earned her spot through years of consistent production and dependability. These are players with more than just a momentum, have a proven track record that fans respect. By comparison, Angel Reese's numbers don't quite measure up yet. She's one of the league's top rebounders. No question, but today's fans are looking for more than just one standout skill. They want players who can score, defend, and lead their teams to victories.
Nafisi Collier, who is probably the leader of the MVP pack right now, is at 485,000. Aaliyah Boston is third, 447,000, as she should be. Aaliyah should get some MVP conversation, I'm going to be honest.
Angel Reese's rise has been driven largely by personality, social media buzz, and branding. But fans can sense when a narrative is being pushed too hard. The league and media worked overtime to position her as the face of the one before. Her game had fully developed to match that title, and that disconnect was reflected in the All-Star voting. Fans chose proven performers like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston players, delivering real impact across the stat sheet over a one-dimensional rebounder. The message is clear. It's not about who gets the most headlines, it's about who shows up and produces when it counts.
I know Kelsey Plum is likable. She's a lovely lady, but you mean to tell me she's more popular than Angel Reese? The same Angel Reese who has been begging, and I mean begging, people on social media to vote for her? Angel Reese, number 13 on the list, 173,000 votes. Aaliyah Boston, who most people have never heard of, has received 447,000 votes.
These results send a clear message to the league, to the media, and to every player trying to rise. You can't manufacture a superstar with ad campaigns and non-stop highlight reels. Fans are paying attention to the gamut, just the stories off the court. The gap between Angel Reese's media buzz and her actual fan support is a wake-up call. It shows just how much today's fans value real performance and how much trust they place in what happens on the floor, not just in the headlines.